John Carroll University is best known for the Griselli Clock Tower, the Chapel of St. Francis, the Bowler School of Business, and of course, Shula Stadium. But maybe you wouldn't know any of this existed without the legacy of the late Tony DiCarlo, head wrestling coach, head football coach, and athletic director. Come join me as we look at the impact of a blue streak to the end.
To me, Coach DiCarlo was Mr. John Carroll. When I came to John Carroll, the football team was terrible, the baseball team and basketball team were average, but everyone knew John Carroll because of the wrestling program. And basically that's the reason I came here, was because they had such a good wrestling program. But no matter where we went to across the country, everyone knew John Carroll because of their wrestling team. They were national champs. They were in the 80s. I believe they placed in the top 4 every year throughout the 80s. And I believe that was because of Coach DiCarlo. And he actually put John Carroll on the map. All the businesses that I used to call on in the business world knew Coach DiCarlo. They've heard of John Carroll. You know, everyone knew what a reputable education they had here. And I think it was because of Coach DiCarlo's relationships in the business community here in Northeast Ohio.
I think easiest word I could say is driven. And, so I think that drive was something that was very prevalent in everything that he did. Like I said earlier in some of my other answers, were always wanted to be better, always wanted to focus on how to improve. Even if you felt you were doing the best that anyone was doing it, there was always room to be better, always room to improve. So that drive was very, I think, evident. And I think that his crowning achievement, I think, was he had talked about that stadium for years, and then to get the Don Shula Stadium built before he retired as athletic director was, I think, a huge accomplishment for him. I think something that, he would never downplay. So when we opened that stadium in 2003, and having Don Shula himself there, it was probably just, if we couldn't cap his football career the way he wanted to, I think he capped his career as an athletic director exactly the way he wanted to.
One of the biggest things was the transition from Coach DiCarlo to Coach Volkman. I remember before they brought in Coach Volkman, Coach DiCarlo called me and Pete Hayek in. We were the 2 post-graduating seniors here at John Carroll, and he called us personally into his office to let him know that he handpicked the new wrestling coach, and that he personally thinks he's a perfect fit for the program, and he asked us to actually support him and help the transition from Coach DiCarlo to Coach Volkman. He made us the captain of the team the following year to make sure that the kids would listen to us and that they would actually accept the new coach and Coach Volkman. And I think, the transition period that he allowed to happen, made Coach Volkman the coach that he was up to this day.
When he took over for football, there was a sense that, how much football does he really know? Is he an X's and O's guy? Well, I compare him a lot more to he was our CEO of football, or, he recruited the right kind of student athletes, and he put together the right kind of staff, and he managed it all. And so he elevated football to where we are today. There's no Tom Arth era without the Tony DiCarlo era. There was no, national prestige without the Tony DiCarlo era.
We're so lucky to have Tom Arth come in and take our program, and I'm so excited about it. I think he's going to turn this program around like you've never seen before. He'll pass up any things that I did 1,000 times.
Yeah, Coach DiCarlo was pretty much like a father figure to me. I went to school with his two kids, Patty and Tony. I actually wrestled with Tony, and Patty was a good friend of mine. She was the statistician. But, you know, Coach DiCarlo taught me how to be a good parent. I watched the way he raised his kids. I watched the way he spent time with the kids on the wrestling team. But he basically taught me how to be a good parent, how to be straightforward. He taught me how to coach. I've been coaching wrestling for 25 years at Solon High School, and he basically taught me that, hey, you need to, when you're coaching kids, be positive, straightforward, honest with them. Always have an open door policy with them, that if they have any issues, because they are kids growing up, to be able to come to you and to talk to you.
Tony DiCarlo, if nothing else, was about accountability. And I'm not saying that I wasn't someone who was accountable, and my parents didn't raise me wrong or anything like that. What I'm suggesting is that it became a personal mantra to be accountable and to stand by your decisions, your actions, your words, whatever it was. Tony was adamant about, you know, that kind of accountability. If you ran your program a certain way, you know, were you doing it right? Were you following the rules? How successful were you being? And to have answers for all those things, not to simply say, well, I got lucky, I got one kid in, it was really good, and, you know, the rest is history. You know, to stand by that. You know, I recruited this person. I worked hard to get him good financial aid packages. You know, all these different things. He wanted that accountability from everybody because he demanded it from himself. And it was a lesson I learned many times over working for him.
While DiCarlo might not be among us, his legacy still remains. From football and wrestling to business and alumni associations, John Carroll University would not be the same without the coach, athletic director, and family man known as Tony DiCarlo.